Okay, now I want to start by letting you all know that this is a very, very bird's eye view of selling on Amazon. Every single part of this can probably be expanded into, a whole other presentation. So just to let you know, it's very, very bird's eye view. I encourage you to do a course with somebody, unless you've got a lot of time and you are and you're happy to go through a million YouTube videos and try and piece it all together. The course that I did was Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, but there is lots of other courses as well. I've been with AOE for a number of years, and I personally think it is a very, very good course to do. So if you know, Amazon is the largest e-commerce platform in the world. So it is definitely in America. It is a bit of a slow burn in Australia. I think eBay is good here as an e-commerce platform and your own websites. But if we can get our products on Amazon, it really is a bit of the, the bee's knees. It's trying to get to that world-class biggest e-commerce platform that you can possibly get to. So you might be wondering about your own product, so and how to get it seen, and then how to sell loads of them. So why Amazon? So like I said, biggest e-commerce platform in the world. It's more than the entire population of Russia is on the American Amazon. And if you've noticed recently, they have started to really push the advertising of an Australian Amazon as well. So getting your stuff onto the American one is great because you've got a ridiculous amount of people looking at your products. But it is known for its competitive pricing, incredibly speed of light shipping, and very reliable customer service. So if you've not met me before, I have been teaching small businesses for quite a number of years now. I do specialise in social media and e-commerce, but I do have my own products on Amazon. So when I first started, it was a bit of a passion project for me. I wanted to see if I could put my products on the biggest e-commerce platform in the world and see if I could do it. And I did do it. And I made so many mistakes. And costly mistakes. And now I have learnt my lessons, and I am just about to launch another range of products in America, probably moving into Singapore and Japan as well, and definitely into Australia also. So I am still selling the product that I made a while ago. And yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. You wake up in the morning and you get that email, we've shipped and sold your product, and you think, yay, fantastic. That's really, really great. I'm selling in my sleep, which is amazing. I'm the author of 3 books on managing your stress, and I am facilitator of a free breast cancer wellness exercise program. I'm a Shopify and Facebook partner, and I've got my Bachelor of Teaching certificate for in small business and certified e-commerce specialist. But most of all, I'm a mum to 2 teenagers. So the first thing we actually do is need to start with you. So as I said, I've been selling on Amazon for quite some time. I do know how much time it takes. I do know how much time you need to take away from other aspects of your life. I'm in the middle of a launch at the moment, and I can't remember when I watched TV last. So having a look and seeing something that you can take out of your life that isn't necessarily productive, and then thinking about how you're going to make that into a very productive time. So before you even start, being very serious about it, if you do want to earn some dollars, you will have to invest in some dollars. It's not drop shipping. It's not, you can do drop shipping, but it's not the most profitable way of earning any money. So drop shipping is somebody buys it first and then you ship it out. But with private label products, is what we're going to be talking about today. You buy the products and you market them, and they are your products, and then you sell them. So it's a lot more profit margin than a drop ship. So thinking about if you want to run steadily or grow quickly, So thinking about your lifestyle, how much time can you put into this? How can you keep your marriage happy? How can you have that focused family time, stay healthy within your body, mind, and physically? And also, how can you keep running your other job? Because you need to maintain a cash flow while you are building this business. So it does take time. So thinking about that 20 hours per week, if you build and if you're building on the side for about 6 months. So that 20 hours a week can obviously be, lots on the weekend, or it can just be an hour here or an hour there, and then a few more hours on the weekend. Sometimes in that process, it's very, very, very slow. You're waiting for shipping, you're waiting for lots of things to happen. And then other times you'll be incredibly busy. So the first product that you have might be a bit of a trial or a tester. So I really don't encourage you to get an enormous amount of product. And I did that. Like I said, I've made these costly mistakes, and I don't encourage you to do that. So trying to get what we call the minimum quantity order for the best price. So that your negotiation skills need to come into play here. If it goes well, fantastic. If it doesn't go well, that's okay. You've got lots and lots of knowledge, and you can decide whether you want to do it again, or if you say, no, it's just not for me. I don't want to do that. Okay, so let's start setting some numbers up. So selling a product can be broken into quarters. Now this, it went twice. Let's back up a minute. This is not an exhaustive list. Can I just say that very, very clearly? This is not an exhaustive list of everything that you will need to price your product, but just a little bit of an overview. So we're looking at about 25% of the product price of the product and the packaging. Now that packaging includes anything that you're going to be putting inside the packaging, if you need to wrap your product up, if you need to put your product into a bag, if you need to put that bag into a plastic bag, it needs to have the suffocation warning on it. So thinking about that packaging, it's not just the product, it's how you're actually going to box it up or package it up and send it. And that includes the design of the packaging and the logo and all that kind of thing as well. Okay. Then you've got about 25% of the fees, the shipping, the photography, and all the other associated costs. About 25% for your marketing and your advertising. And then, yay, you get 25% of the profit. So we take all of that into consideration and to decide on your price. Now, Seller Central is the back end of Amazon. It's the place that the sellers can go. It's their dashboard. So when I talk about Seller Central, it's the seller's place of Amazon. It's not what the customer sees. It's all of the stuff that's in the background, and that's Seller Central. So Seller Central actually has a very good profit calculator that it's really, really useful in that situation. And you can, this doesn't need to be set, the profit, you can change your pricing. And so you can have a really good look at that. There's someone in the chat. Although these shipping, oh no. So yes, there's just a message here. Although shipping these days seems to be taking out more than 25% of the cost sometimes, do you advise not to proceed with a new product if this is the case? You just need to really do your numbers. You would need to really look at, costing the price associated with the shipping costs. And there's a few things that I've been hearing recently on AOE. For those of you that don't know, there's a weekly live question and answer session that we have with the coach. And it's just, you get some really valuable information from there. So recently, I'm pretty sure it was on a Monday Q&A, they said that perhaps with the shipping, get it warehoused or stored, and then have some of the shipping actually flown over. And so then you'd be looking at the associated costs with how much it takes to fly over as well, because shipping is just taking so long and is so costly at the moment. So with your shipping in here, this is why I said this is not an exhaustive list. This is just a bit of a guide. Things change rapidly and you need to keep up with what is going on. And that's why I encourage you to be in a group that isn't a sit and forget group, but it is a group that keeps you up to date with the latest information. I will just keep saying this is a very bird's eye view. I was so conscious when I wrote this webinar that someone wasn't just going to say, okay, I know what I'm doing now, because I just want you to feel that you know that you need to get a little bit more support. And even I've said to myself, I'm not doing this by myself anymore. I do have business partners for my Amazon businesses as well, because it really does take a bit of a tribe, a bit of a team. Okay, so if you see a product on Amazon that sells for $20 and you want to sell it, you need to find that product and package it for about $5, and even less these days with the shipping costs. Okay, so what do you sell? Now, this is the biggest question. What on earth do you sell that is actually going to sell, that people want? It is the longest part of your process, and it's almost a bit of a gamble. So it's really, really important that you spend a lot of time doing your research on what to sell, and if it is going to sell, and then just cross your fingers and toes that you've done as much research as you can. Now, there are validation tools to use to make sure that people are actually searching for your product. So a low search volume, it just means nobody wants it. A high search volume, so you might be competing against a really large company and you're going to need a whole bunch of dollars to advertise against them. So your sweet spot is that medium search volume. So pick a keyword in your target audience that's searching for. So even if you're selling books, this is the process that should be done as well. Like I said, I was on another webinar on the weekend about how to sell books, and it was from a very reputable Amazon seller. She's been selling on Amazon and teaching people to sell on Amazon for years and years and years. And now she's starting to get to teaching people to sell books. And she was saying that she would do exactly this process, just the same as what she's done with her products. And so having a look at the keyword, having a look, seeing what your target audience is searching for, and using the tools, and I'll show you in the next slide, using these tools and the keyword, Google Keyword Planner, to focus on the keywords that have that high search volume and low competition. So this tells you two things. It tells you that there's a demand for your actual product, and two, when you start doing some Google ads and when you start advertising, you're actually going to get a chance to ranking on Google. So some other tools that you can use are Merchant Words, which is the one that I use, Jungle Scout, ZonGuru, and eGrow, and Helium 10. Between my business partner and I, we use Merchant Words, ZonGuru, and Helium 10. And so like I said before, the research side of this is very, very important. Product or books. Okay, now you're going to be spending a huge amount of time looking and talking about this product. So you may as well find something that you're at least moderately interested in and confident about. One of my test products was a product, and I see them everywhere now. Maybe I should have stuck with it, but when I first started, I researched and I thought, great, this is going to be an amazing product, but I didn't want to put my name to it. It was a toilet roll holder that had a shelf on it where you could put your mobile phone. And I actually didn't want to market it. I didn't want my name to it. So, I bought my 100 and sold them, which was great. but it wasn't something that I wanted to continue selling. And at that time when I was selling them, there wasn't many around, but now I see them everywhere. So choose something that you're moderately interested in and you're quite happy to talk about quite a lot. But don't choose something just because you like it, because you actually want other people to like it too, because you don't want to be keeping your product or your book in your garage for the rest of your life. You want other people to want to buy your product as well. So there's some really general guidelines of a potential niche. So a niche is, like you're going into something about yoga, or you're going into something about dogs, or you're going into something about homewares. Okay. So thinking about the Amazon price between $15 to $50. Now, I do prefer a higher range than this because I know that I can, get a higher profit margin out of that. Sorry, people encourage you to get a lightweight and small item. So 46 centimeters or longer actually gets a $2 fulfilled by Amazon fee. So when I say FBA, it's fulfilled by Amazon, which is where you keep the product in their warehouse and they send it from their warehouse. If it's FBM, that is fulfilled by merchant, and you keep it at your house and you send it from your house. So if you've got a longer product, you might like to think about sending it from your house. But again, think about where you live. The reason why I went on Amazon to start with, well, one of the reasons is because where I live, the shipping costs, the postage costs are absolutely enormous to get them anywhere else into Australia and definitely into the US. So the shipping costs were incredibly prohibitive for me to sell my product. So I really needed to find somewhere else that was going to store my product. So you also want to have a look and see if there's a high Amazon search demand. So at least 2,000 for the main keywords on Jungle Scout. At least some successful players already. So trying to see if they are selling at least 10 per day and $15. So you're looking at $300 per month of sales or 5,000 plus in revenue. And this verifies the demand for this type of product. Your profit margin of 30% or better would be amazing. And also having a look to see most competitors have a low amount of reviews, so less than 200 reviews. We're trying to make our product differentiate and stand out in the marketplace. So there is very, very large amount of numbers there, 75 odd, million products. So we want to think about that. I didn't get the Australian ones. There's not as many in Australia, but there are loads and loads of products that we want to differentiate ourselves with. Because when we're selling in Australia, we're not just thinking about competing against Amazon and all the other products in Amazon, we're thinking about competing against eBay and I think Buy from Oz. There was one I was looking at the other day that might be quite a big competitor as well. So you can differentiate your product by size. You can start thinking, oh, they sell samples of this, or they sell small ones of this, I might sell it in bulk, or the other way around. You can differentiate yes, by origin. My next product is an all-natural Australian skincare range. And so I'm predominantly going to be selling that in America and, differentiating it from all the other brands because it is Australian. You can differentiate between the branding, the packaging. You can add a simple feature or ingredients. You can offer a bonus. That's the other thing that we're doing. We're offering other things within the package. We're highlighting a feature. You can expose the weaknesses of other brands. And quite a good tip to do this is to go into your competitors' brands, have a look at their 1-star reviews. See what people are complaining about and try and fix that with your product. So you can differentiate by studying your niche or your target market. So it is very important to know your niche. So if you're trying to sell to everyone, you're not going to be selling to, you're selling to no one. So you're narrowing down your target market. And then it really, I mean, we can go into avatars for hours, but a very, very easy way to do it, saying who will use it? Who will use that product? Why will they use this product? Will they tell their friends once they have used that product? That's a really important one because you need social proof and you need reviews for other people to want to buy that product. And so thinking about it even before, so reverse engineering, I think of this in my mind all the time. So you're reverse engineering all of this to happen when you are researching your product. So will they tell their friends? Will they say, gosh, I got this amazing thing the other day on Amazon, you should go and get one? Will they do an unboxing video for you and put it on their social media? Will they become an influencer for you? And then thinking about how fast can you bring it to the market? My products at the moment are slow to the market. We anticipated that, no problem at all. We know that they're not going to get there for Christmas, and that's absolutely okay. So how fast do you need to bring it to the market? Is it a Christmas product? And have you allowed yourself to, have that time to bring it to the market? Is it a Mother's Day present? Is it a Father's Day present? Have you allowed yourself to actually get it to market? And then how much profit is each sale going to produce? Having a look at the competitors on Amazon, and this is in the US and in Australia, and you might even want to have a look at the other markets as well that are doing really well. Germany, Singapore, the UK. Have a look at their reviews, and are they selling well with your competitors? Do they get good reviews? When was the last purchase? Have a spy on your competitors. There are tools that can make it very, very easy, and we can see where our competitors get their bulk of their backlinks and their keywords, and they're showing up on Google's first page. So again, you want your product to not only be available to on Amazon, you want your product to be able to be advertised and then pushing people to your Amazon listing or your website listing or wherever you're going to sell. So we can get inspired. We can have a look at the Amazons, actually just go straight onto the Amazon, Amazon website in the different countries. You can have a look at the bestsellers. You can have a look at the new releases, the movers and shakers, the most wished for, the most gifted. You can have a look at handmade. You can have a look at Amazon Launchpad. And in all of these websites, you can pop into your search, into the search bar. You can pop into your niche and see what is selling. See what is very, very cool. Like I said, something that you are willing to look at day in and day out because you're going to be doing social media for this. You're going to be doing advertising and you're going to be looking at it a lot. You're going to be talking about it. So going into all of these different places and getting inspired. Again, like I said, try not to find something that just you like, but finding things that other people like as well. Now, once you find your products, we need to think, are they going to sell well? Amazon, this is a whole list. I'm not going to go through this list. Just have a look. Amazon has restricted products. All of these areas have products that are restricted. Now, I'm not saying that you can't sell in these areas, but I'm saying that there may be hurdles to jump through, and that will extend the time of how long it's going to take to sell. I have picked a product in one of these restricted areas. I know I'm going to jump through those hoops, and we are absolutely and utterly prepared for that. So I'm sharing all of this information with you, so there's no nasty surprises. So if you do want to bring yourself into one of these areas, just understand that there are going to be a few more hoops and it might take just a little bit longer to get through. But some of them just have different requirements for approval. Okay, you've found your idea. Then where on earth do you get your product? So you can source it locally, you can find a manufacturer locally, or you can find one overseas. So we can check out places like Alibaba, and there's a few other, Alibaba is not only in China, but in a few other places as well. And we can source that directly from a manufacturer, or you can contact wholesalers. Now, wholesalers are actually a really great place to start as well, because you can test the product. Sometimes from a wholesaler, you don't need to buy 1,000, which you may need to buy 1,000 from Alibaba to get a decent price. But if you want to differentiate your product, like we have with the skincare, that it is just Australian, you really need to look at the country that you want it manufactured in. Unfortunately, Australia doesn't manufacture too many products, but we think when you do your research, you can uncover some gems. And then you need to start contacting them and form relationships. So you can try to negotiate on prices and talk about minimum quantity orders, or MOQs, and then start to make sure that you can still actually make a profit from these, thinking about all the other costs that are involved that we talked about earlier. Please get a sample of minimum of 3 suppliers. The samples will cost you, just for reference, so if you go onto Alibaba and it says you can get 1,000 for 10 cents, the sample to get one will cost you a lot more than 10 cents. Just again, I'm trying to give you, just a heads up so you're not completely surprised by the situation. For them to get one product to you, it's going to cost you a lot more than that 10 cents to get those 1,000 to you. So, but it's a very, very, very important step in the procedure, because what you see on Alibaba or what you see on the internet might not actually be physically what you're going to be getting. There's just a chat. I'm just going to open that and see. Make sure you negotiate to reimburse the cost of the sample if you proceed with the order. What a wonderful, wonderful thing to chime into. Thank you very, very much. I haven't ordered from Alibaba for a while, and I had actually forgotten that you could do that. So thank you very much for chiming in. When you're doing with your suppliers, there's a few different reasons why you're actually getting the samples. So you're checking to see what the communication is like with them. Are they quick to get back to you? Are they polite? Are they, do they hassle you? I don't actually like being hassled that much. So I'd almost back away from a supplier that is really, really pushy with me. So thinking about the levels of communication, what actually sits well with you? You're going to have a long-term relationship with these people, and they are supplying your product that you're trying to get a profit from. So finding that supplier is a really, really important relationship to start making. And then thinking about the time it takes for them to ship it. And also, how do they ship it? We got our samples from one place and everything was broken. Yeah. So we said, okay, well, clearly we're not going to be getting any of our stock from these people anymore, because we need to know that our customers are eventually going to get something that isn't broken. So really, this is a very, very important step to take. Ordering those, ordering one, seeing what the colour's like, communication, shipping times, very important. Now, once you've received your sample and you like the quality of the product and you like the quality of the service and the manufacturer and the communication and the time, then you can have another go at perhaps renegotiating those prices and starting the process that follows. Now, there's, like I said at the beginning, sometimes it's really slow and sometimes it's fast and you're doing lots and lots of things and you're overwhelmed and you're busy, but other times it's slow. So when you're waiting for your samples, another thing that you can do is start getting the business side of things sorted. So you get your Australian business number, you have a look at your business name and try to get the same domain name. That's not the website, that's the domain name, which actually sounds like a website. It could be victoria.com.au, but you're actually not creating the website from it. You're just collecting that domain name. I was having a laugh to someone the other day saying, how many ABNs and how many domain names do we collect? You know, some people collect stamps. I think I collect domain names. And then check to see, before you buy it, check to see if somebody else has got it. So you see if somebody else has already trademarked it first. If you are serious about your Amazon in the future, and if you do want to build a brand that you could possibly sell in the future, I really do recommend trademarking it. You might not want to trademark your first product until you know that it's something that sits well with you and you really, really want to build this into a business. But if you're absolutely serious about it, I really recommend getting it trademarked. And then seeing if the social media handles are available, seeing if Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, and then see if it looks good on your product. You know, that business name, your brand name, it's going to be all over your product. It's going to be your logo. It's going to be everywhere. So seeing if it actually looks really, really good on your product as well. And then decide if you want to stay being a sole trader or if you want to form a company. Again, possibly starting off as a sole trader is a good idea. And then if very serious, you are, and perhaps you've got a business partner thinking about going into a company. I've always traded as a sole trader with a skincare company. We are trademarked and we are a company, because then we can resell it in the future if we want to. Then one of the things that has just come about, probably not that recently, but you know, certainly after when I started selling, is that we need to get a virtual office address. Now, you don't have to, but now your address gets shown to the public. So it depends on whether you're okay with that. I'm not okay with that. So we have a virtual office address, which means nobody is actually there. It is just an office address that we buy so that we can get our mail sent there, and then it gets sent to us by the person that manages that virtual address. It is actually a physical address, but we use it as a virtual one because we don't go there. Okay, so you will need a business bank account and a debit card, and you'll need the bank statement that has the virtual address on it. The domain name, like I said before, you don't have to create a website yet, but just get the domain name so that nobody else buys it down the track if you do want to set up your own website later. You'll need an email that has your business and your domain name on it. Think about, do you need to register for GST? Are you thinking about earning more than $75,000 a year? And then you'll also need to buy GS1 barcodes. Way back when I started, we were buying speedy barcodes, but they aren't liked, I guess is the word, by Amazon anymore. So GS1 barcodes are the way to go, and the cheaper ones are the ones that you can buy in the UK. And then thinking about your branding. So have a look at this image that we've got over here. This is the brand archetypes and the associated colours with them. Thinking about your product, thinking about where it sits, how does it make people feel? And then thinking about the words that match that product and thinking about the associated colours that match that product. And that's what you might like to start doing your brand colours in, and your packaging colours. So thinking about, will your brand name be your business name? Are you trading under a different business name? You think, starting to think about your product names. So with the skincare range, we've obviously, well, not obviously, we're starting out with 5 products. We're probably going to move into quite a few other products. And the product research that I did took months, absolutely months. I came up with the names that I thought were great. I gave them to a whole bunch of groups. They told me they were crap, which is great because they were my target market. And then I went back, I looked at them again. I rang lots of people that are in that niche, spoke to them about it. And then, now I'm crossing my fingers. I'm already starting to doubt myself, but I can't change anything now about your product name. So doing some market research around that. Maybe even having a look at the product name and seeing if there's anything associated with it that you hadn't really thought about, that you don't want your product to be associated with. Thinking about your brand colours, and you might like to go and get your logo designed at this stage. And then having a look at all of the different packaging options. This can be a rabbit hole that you can go down. Like I said, with my latest product, there's been lots of different changes with it. And we eventually went with these packaging because we actually wanted to give it as a gift. But because it's a skincare range, we started off like this, having it in a box. So this is why you need to do so much research around your target market. What do they actually want? And then make sure you're sticking to any of the requirements that Amazon asks you to do for your packaging. So with your particular products, it might have to have, what it is, how much it weighs. It might need to have a suffocation warning on it. It might need to have, if you're brand registered and have a trademark, it might need to have the exact logo on it. And then start asking your supplier for the dimensions of the boxes that your products will be shipped in. So you start looking around for shipping companies, and your supplier might have an idea, but you can also look for companies that kit. So if you've got a few different pieces, bits and pieces that go into your product, you can try and get a kitting company. And it might be the same as your freight forwarder, but it might not be. So if you've got your product and it needs to be put into a box, but the box comes from somewhere else, you actually need to coordinate that and put them all together. And then contact the freight forwarders to get quotes and to ask them to check to see if they do product inspections. Because if you're getting your products made and it's nowhere near where you live, even if you are in Australia, I'm in Busselton, my products get made in the eastern states. So you might need to ask if they do a product inspection and ask them to drop it. Once it's all packed, ask them to drop your product and see if it is okay and it doesn't smash. So product inspections are a really good thing, because to get them inspected at, close to where they were made, then if you need anything fixed, it's close to actually get them to fix it there. I'm just checking on this. Can you please discuss the drop test? Is it only for certain products, as all this packaging would potentially get dropped and damaged? Yeah. So yeah, like I said, the drop test, I actually suggest you should ask your freight forwarder they're not going to drop test every single one of your products, because usually you've got 1,000 or so they're not going to be doing that. But, do pick out samples of them and do that drop test, so that you know that it's not going to break when it's being shipped, and it's not going to break when it's being stored in the Amazon warehouse, and then try and get it fixed then. So it can be a little bit annoying and tricky. And again, this is the time that it takes to actually get product to actually sell. You need to understand that there might be, quite a few little barriers along the way. I hope that answers that question. Do you need and then maybe having a look and see, do you need another costing based on all of your quotes, and check to see if you need to adjust your price to that profit. I'm just checking the chat. Does the gift bag need to be fully enclosed? Yes, it needs to be fully enclosed. Could you have it in an open top style of gift bag with a blow on top? I actually do have that with my own product, but we are packaging that in a plastic bag so that we are absolutely certain that the product is not going to fall out. And we don't want the gift bag getting wrecked and getting marked and getting dirty. So I really do recommend putting, if you've got something in a gift bag that doesn't, close completely, putting that into a bag. All right, just checking the chat. So gift bags with the product inside a poly bag. Yep. And also we are wrapping our products in, we're trying to be as environmentally friendly as possible. So even the poly bag, we are looking at trying to get it environmentally as possible. But we've got what's called a honeycomb wrap, and we're wrapping up our products in a honeycomb wrap inside the gift bag and then putting the bag inside another bag. We want it, thinking about the end, thinking about that person opening up the Amazon box and looking at their gift or looking at their product and saying, oh, it actually doesn't look that great. We don't want that experience for our customer. Okay, making sure you order from the supplier and try to get the minimum quantity to order to test the product. You will have to really work at your negotiation skills for this, and this is why I brought on a business partner, because that is not my speciality at all. And so she's very, very good at that, and I was very strategic when I asked her to come on in as a business partner, because I knew that she could help me in the areas that I'm just not good at all. And then you pay your deposit for the goods, usually about 30 to 50%. I'm just checking on the chat again. Okay, do you find the poly bag deters from the perceived value with the higher end product, or is it fine as long as the product inside is fine? I encourage you to ask your customers of that. I encourage you to try and find your target market and actually asking them that question. I think that would be a fascinating question to ask. It is on my mind. I'm thinking, oh, it's environmentally friendly. I don't really want to do that. But again, I'm so conscious that I want the gift to be beautiful when it arrives at the customer. So yeah, I think that's a question that is a very, very good question. Thank you for asking that. But I think it is something that we do need to do some more market research on. I might even put that into my market research too. Thanks for that. Actually, maybe the people here can answer that. I'll read that out again. Do you find that the poly bag deters from the perceived value with the higher end product, or is it fine as long as the product inside is fine? So if I order a high-end product, I know that it comes in plastic. I know, even with the skincare, that I ordered previously before I've got my own company, I knew that, most of it arrives in a plastic container, or it's, what's the word? Oh, the word completely eludes me at the moment. Yes, container around it. Is there something here? No, there isn't an example. Sorry, I'm not looking for an example. So maybe pop in the chat whether you think that will actually, take the feeling of a high-end quality product away. Where were we up to? So paying a deposit. having a look at the associated costs, you can use a company like OFX who handles international transfers. Sometimes it's a lot more safer and cheaper than using your own business account. So just having a look at international transfer company like that. Getting your products inspected to make sure the quality. And like I said before, this can be done by your freight forwarder. And when goods are ready and good quality, pay the remainder of the invoice. So we've got a little thing in the chat, protective paper, protective wrapper. Yep, that's probably the word I was thinking about. I've actually got some business cards here. This is what I was talking about. Let's see how it's all wrapped in that. What do they call that? Shrink wrap. That's, I think, the word I was thinking about. Shrink wrap. Yep. Consumers, we've just got another chat here. Consumers will generally forgive if the packaging is registered with a recycle program. I know we really, really need to look into that. Unfortunately, the ones that we did order are too small. And so again, this is just another hurdle that happened. We've got everything there, but the plastic outside is too small. So I said, great, let's use that for samples down the track. And now we're looking at doing something else. Okay, I've lost thinking about these issues. I know I know. You could probably, I don't know if you can see how great I have become. It really, really, really does take a village to do this and people that understand your process. So we've got here, this is me now. No, he's got a gorgeous smiley face with no hair. How funny, I love it. Okay, dokes, now it's time to set up your Seller Central account. So you've done all of this research. You've said to yourself, oh yeah, I still really want to do this. You haven't turned yourself off yet. And then you start setting up your Seller Central account. If you are setting up in America, you need to set up in America. If you're setting up in Australia, you need to set up in Australia. They do need to be separate accounts. You will need your bank statement from your business account with your virtual address on it. And more recently, and I even wonder if it's going to be everyone now. I know that we needed to do it. We actually had to take a video, well, my business partner had to take a video of her face talking, holding the bank statement next to her face with our virtual address on it, with our business bank account on it to prove who she was. So they are getting very, very strict. And this is why I said right at the beginning, if you can get your stuff on Amazon, you know, you can get your stuff anywhere. It's a bit of a competition perhaps with yourself. You know, can you actually do this? You will need your work email, you need a mobile phone number. I don't encourage you to use your own one. We have brought another phone so that we can, you know, we can use that as a business phone, just a cheap one. And you'll need your driver's license or passport. You'll need it to set up your Amazon listing in order to get the Amazon barcode. So you'll need the barcodes that we talked about before, which go on anything, you know, that goes on any product that you're on. And I encourage you to get those barcodes because you do need them for this one, but also if you're wanting to go into a retail store, you need them there as well. But then you need the Amazon barcode, which is called an FNSKU, to get the shipping plan details. Now, when you're jumping in here and you're deciding on your title, please don't say to yourself, I'll just put anything and I'll change it later. The titles are becoming incredibly hard to change. I encourage you to get a copywriter if you're absolutely serious about this, like I said at the beginning, you do need to invest some money into it. So I do encourage you to get a copywriter to help write your listing properly and write your title. If your Seller Central account, or set your Seller Central account to FBA, so that's fulfilled by Amazon, and create your Amazon barcode label, the FNSKU. If you're supplying the products from your house, it will be FBM, fulfilled by merchant. And then depending on your product, there might be some extra information that you need to supply, like does it have batteries and is it hazardous in any way? And this is the step where we're going to have to take a step back, and we're going to have to prove that our skincare range is not hazardous in any way. And now you can create your shipping plan. So you can give your destination address to your freight forwarder. And then you'll need to know the address of the freight forwarder, and it's, you just ask them, you just say, where is it going to be shipped from? You get the shipping labels and you give them to the freight forwarder, and then you get them to ship your products. And hopefully they don't get stuck in the canal. Okay, and then you can either get them shipped, like we were saying, FBA, or you can either get them shipped to you and pack them up and send them to Amazon for FBA, or you can get a freight forwarder to send everything to the Amazon warehouse for FBA, or you can do fulfilled by merchant, and you can pack them up yourself and send them yourself. So the way that we've done this is the long-winded way, but I recommend doing this the first time so you can feel the quality of your products and you know exactly how they're going to be. So we got our labels sent to my business partner, and she has been very busy actually putting the labels on. This is not a process that is encouraged after you have done the first ones, and unfortunately it wasn't the way that we were going to do it, but I can't travel, COVID reasons. I was meant to go over there and help her do this, but unfortunately it's up to her now to get that done, and also to perhaps hire somebody for a day and get them to do that as well. We have a business meeting every week, and she said that she's enlisting some of her family, and I said, well, make sure you put the pizza and the wine on the business account just so they are feeling a little bit better about doing it, and maybe give them some samples as well. Okay, dokes. So you can use the samples. Remember how we were talking ages ago about actually getting those samples of your products? You can use the samples for your initial professional product photography if it's exactly the same thing as what you are getting. When you're sending your product, it's actually a good idea to get at least one of them sent to you so you can do some really great product photography. Now, there are quite strict rules over the product photography. These are hero images. So this is the first image that you'll see on Amazon. I'm teaching best practice. You will see every now and then that people don't do this, but to keep your listing there, to keep your product there, it is a good idea to do best practice. So the image cover art needs to be a professional photograph of the product that is being sold. So drawings or illustrations of the product will absolutely not be allowed. It can't contain gratuitous or confusing additional objects. And like I said, and especially in Australia, these rules aren't that picky, but best that you do best practice so that you're following all of the rules and nothing gets taken down. The image must be in focus, professionally lit, and photographed or scanned with a realistic colour and smooth edges. The full product must be in the frame. Now, backgrounds need to be white, and the image must not contain additional text, graphic, or inset images. And again, you will find that other people do this, but let's do best practice from the beginning. Now, that's your hero image. That's the first image. In all of the other images, you can get a lot more creative and have a lot more fun. So I found this product and it's got a lot in it. This is not my product. I have absolutely no idea whose product this is, but I found this product just to show you how easy it is to create other images that actually show everything about it, because we're talking about online shopping here. We can't touch it, we can't feel it, we can't smell it, we can't taste it. There's nothing else that we can do apart from looking at the image. And so your images need to show everything about it. So the hero image that we talked about before, very plain, but your other images are really what's going to sell your product. So spending some time thinking, having a look around, researching other ways that people do this, really, really important. And also having it being used. So we call that in situ or lifestyle photos, it being used so people can see themselves using that. So the image, obviously, so these are the rules that Amazon have given us. So this is your hero image. It's got the white background, hasn't got any wording, hasn't got anything about it. It does have the logo in it, which is great. Tells you that that is that product that you're going to buy. The other ones, the additional images, again, they need to be professionally lit, realistic colors, soft edges. Other products or objects are allowed to help demonstrate the use or the scale of the product. Cropped or close-up images are allowed. Really, really good idea to do that. Backgrounds and environments are allowed, and text and demonstrative graphics are allowed. Again, just have a look. Google your niche, Google your product, and then click on images and see what comes up. And then you can start collecting them on a Pinterest board, starting to collect, or a Google Doc, or whatever you want to do. Start collecting things that you really, really like. And then you've got the chance to tell your product photographer, well, this is what I like, this is what I want you to do. Or if you're your product photographer, you've got some ideas to remind yourself about what you like. Okay, next. So your title. So this is actually what we call your listing. This is all words that go into it. So you gather the main keywords that you know people are searching for your product. Remember way back in the beginning when we were talking about keyword research, this is where it comes into play. So we write your listing with the keywords in it. Now you've seen, I'm sure you've seen on other sites, not probably Amazon, but other sites, just people are keyword stuffing their titles. They'll say best gift, amazing, all the things that they think that people are searching for. And but it looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. So when you're thinking about putting your keywords in, we still need it to make sense. We still need the title to make sense. So Amazon asked you to put 200 characters, including spaces, into the title. And it is encouraged that you put your brand at the beginning. That's not me talking. That's that's the group that I'm in, AOE, and that's best practice that they teach. Bullet points highlight the top 5 features that you want your customer to consider, and then thinking about the description. Describe the product, the major product features, such as the size, the style, what the product can be used for. But the bullet points are really, really, really important to talk about the benefits that your person is going to get from buying this product. How's it going to make them feel? How's it going to better their life? And why do they really, really need it in their lives? Okay, so the description can include the dimensions, the care instructions, and the warranty information. So a really good resource is to get the Quick Start Style Guide. It will give you a whole bunch of information on that, and it's almost like a really good checklist that you can download and you can have a look at. If you are trademarked, you can then get something called brand registry. And brand registry on Amazon allows you to have your own, almost your own website on Amazon. So it's not just a, just a listing like you get on eBay or something like that, but you actually get a chance to have a heap of photos and videos and all sorts of really cool things in there. I'm just checking the chat. Okie dokes. Oh, here we go. What do you think about the balance between including enough keywords so you get indexed and found, so longer bullets, compared to shorter bullets, better readability, or would you do the first to get indexed and then launching, then simplify bullets later? I would write long bullet points. I would put in as much information into there as I possibly could, thinking about your keywords, but making it make sense. Don't keyword stuff it just for the sake of it. Think it, like I said before, with your bullet points, think about the benefit that your product that your product is going to give to them, and thinking about the keywords in there. You've got a lot, you know, you've got the chance to use those words. Why not use the words? In my opinion. Okay, so while you're waiting for your products to be shipped, you can spend some time building your audience and your social media. Just checking the chat again. So using the maximum characters per bullet doesn't make it too much text heavy when the customers are trying to read them. I would put the main information at the beginning of each bullet point, perhaps with some emojis. But also it depends on, you know, your target market. Like, are they readers? Do they like reading emojis? Do they like reading text? Do they like reading lots of stuff, or do you need to keep it succinct? So you're always thinking about your target market. Just checking the chat again. Are you allowed to use emojis and capitals and start with bullets still? That's something that I do need to check. I'm just about to write the copy for my listing to give it to my copywriter. So I have seen that there are still emojis that can be used, but we might not be able to do them in the future. So that is something that I do need to look into. Okie dokes. So if you haven't met me before, I specialize in social media. So this is my safe space here. This is what I love teaching and looking at. So thinking about your social media. So while you're waiting for your products to be shipped, you can spend some time building your audience on social media. It is so much easier to tell people about your product when you already have an audience to tell it to. So as soon as I started thinking about the new product that we wanted, I figured out who we're going to sell it to. Then I tried to figure out which platform they are going to be on. And then I started building the audience for that platform so that when it can be launched, we have a large audience to sell to. So like I said, ours is not ready in the slightest, but because I'm consistently building on social media, I recognize that TikTok is going to be, I think I spelled that wrong. TikTok is going to be our target market because it's going to be in America. And then I needed to train the TikTok algorithm to only show Americans and to show the people that were over 30. And then I've started to build that on social media, on TikTok. So the audience now is, I don't know, 2,400 or something or other. And I know that probably only 2% of those people will buy, but the bigger that I get that platform that I can have a warm audience to, the bigger that percentage hopefully will be. So I really encourage you to think about building that audience even before your product is, like while your product is in the process of getting ready. Reviews, I believe, and people can absolutely disagree with me on this, I actually think reviews are one of the hardest things to get. It's we often need to buy reviews when we're first starting. When I first started on Amazon, we could go into the early reviewer program, which was fantastic, and people would review your product when you started going in, but it doesn't exist anymore. There is something called the Vine program. I haven't looked into it too much, but reviews are an absolute necessity to get when you are starting to sell your product. And like I said, they can actually be quite hard to get. So thinking about how you're going to get your reviews for your products when they are listed is a very, very important step to start getting into. Now, if you are asking people to review your product, it's against the terms of services to ask for a 5-star review, and it's not really best practice at all, and you can get busted for it. If you're asking your friends for a review and they're friends on Facebook with you, Amazon can take those reviews down for some, magical reason. Amazon knows that those reviews come from your friends on Facebook. I don't want to know how much gets sold of our information across these platforms, but that's what happens. So just to let you know, products are incredibly, incredibly important for you to get, but they need to be, you just need to be a little bit careful about how you get them. So then you're starting to decide on how you're going to promote your product. So are you going to, and you don't have to do any promotion at all, but are you going to think about promoting them on Google Ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, PPC, which is pay-per-click, which is the internal Amazon ad system? You're going to be doing YouTube ads, TikTok ads, or you're going to go down the influencer track, which is what we're looking into and learning about. So please don't waste your time and money on putting ads in front of people that will never, ever, ever buy your product. So make sure that you know your target market very, very well, and you're putting your ads in front of those people that are going to buy your product, and you've learned how to do Facebook and Google ads very, very well, so you can target the people that are going to buy your product, and you're not just spraying and praying your marketing ads budget. So then when your products arrive at Amazon in the US or Australia, then you've got to check them in, and then they may make them live, and then sometimes they take them away. They take them away to see if they're dangerous or to see if you have actually said what they are, and your listing might actually disappear for a while, so don't stress too much about it. But when it comes back, you're in a honeymoon period, and so you want to be putting all of your marketing into it in this time. That's usually when you're on the front page, and that's when you want to be putting in, a lot of your marketing. You want to be doing your launch, you want to talk about your social media, you want to get it everywhere in that beautiful honeymoon period that you've got. And then you can start getting those reviews, which will in turn allow you to get more sales, because people love watching reviews. Okay, and then you enjoy your sales, which is very cool. Okay, Jane has to log off. Excellent. Sent you a LinkedIn connection request. Beautiful. I will be looking at your book as soon as I get off this, Jane. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate your time. Okie dokes. So what do you do next? You've done all of this work and you think, I can sit back, I can enjoy, I can pop that champagne, but you actually have to keep building your business. Now this is a business. You've been through all of this to get it to this stage, and businesses need maintaining. So what do we do next? You might like to test a different product insert card. That's actually something that I didn't put in there, that an insert card is best practice to put into your product. You might want to look at different sales pages, different landing pages. You might want to look at different advertising platforms and what's working best. Then check out and see if your prices worked. Like we were saying before, shipping costs have gone up enormously recently. So you might have a look then at the fees that have been taken out from Amazon. You might need to adjust your pricing. And then having a look at your advertising. What is stop? What is start? Do you increase in some areas? Do you move it? Do you change it? Do you tweak it? And so we call that optimizing. And then let's keep doing your social media marketing. Keep doing it. And then you congratulate yourself on a massive project that you've undertaken with many, many spinning parts. So every single part of this webinar that I've talked about can be expanded upon for hours and hours of training. So this is just an overview. If you haven't jumped on already to this amazing program, this is Digital Solutions Program. This is how I am able to give you this webinar today. If you haven't jumped on, like I said before, I specialise in social media and e-commerce, so Shopify and Amazon and a few other different platforms. I'm creating something on Wix at the moment and having quite a lot of fun. Wix has changed since I first started making websites. So if you haven't jumped onto this program already, it's such a good deal. It really is. You know, all of the experts that are in the team, they charge $150 an hour up. If you were to engage them for their speciality, but for this you get 7 hours, you get 3 hours one-on-one, and you get 4 hours worth of workshops for only $44. It really, really is an absolute no-brainer. You do need to have an ABN in WA, Queensland or Northern Territory, and you need to be running a business that is not a non-for-profit. So if you do have a non-for-profit business, we do have facilities to help you with that, but it's a different part of the program. All you need to do is just contact us and we'll help you along with that. I heard of an amazing non-for-profit deal yesterday that Google is actually giving non-for-profits $10,000 worth of advertising spend per month that they can use. And I just think, holy dooly, it's almost worth making a non-for-profit. Okay, and then you have to have fewer than 20 full-time staff members to jump on board with this, because we do like helping small businesses. So if you haven't registered already, there's lots of advisors, myself included, and we'll just point you in the direction of where your company needs to go. And you can tell us where your company needs to go and we can help you. So that's businessstation.link /register. I'm just going to stop sharing. Jump on in and say hi to everyone again. Oh, I need a drink after that. I need some water. So excuse me, I'm just going to have a sip of my water. Every time I do that webinar, I think to myself, am I crazy? What on earth do I do Amazon for? It's such a massive process. But then, you know, I do like to challenge. I do like to challenge myself, and I do like to see how far I can make these businesses, and I enjoy it. It's, you know, I actually really, really enjoy business and especially helping people with business, and I enjoy creating businesses. So, you know, it's one of my passions. Does anyone want to jump on in? And there was some great feedback in there. There was some great questions. I really, really was, you know, I'm very grateful that people jumped in and asked and talked, and Howie gave us some great advice as well. So yeah, very, very cool. So I think, how are we all going? All good. We might have lost a few along the way. Cool. Okay, so thank you very much for being here today. Or it's not this afternoon, it might be this afternoon for someone. Jane, okay, you need to go. Thanks so much. Appreciate your time. Drive safe wherever you're going to be. Enjoy. Yeah, Howie, I know it's heavy, isn't it? I do apologise, and I said that at the beginning. I don't know if you were on at that stage, that it's really intense. It's really it's heavy going, because it's like a, you know, it's like a 6-month course trying to squish it into about an hour and a half. So you've been there. We just binged on Amazon. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means. Yeah, binged on Amazon. Yep, maybe. Yeah, just it's a huge process, and it's very, very difficult to put it into a little bit of a, you know, step by step. And like I was saying, the whole way through, each little bit can be expanded into a whole new course. So whatever your Amazon journey is, whatever, you know, if you've got books or if you're doing anything on there, if you're wholesaling or if you're doing private label products, or if you're just starting out, I feel for you. I really, you know, I'm in the space with you. I'm there. There's another question that's just come through. I'm there with you, and yeah, just email me, victoria@businessstation.com.au, and you know, I might point you in the direction of another business advisor if I don't think I'm the best person for you, or I'll do my best to answer. Now, there is a question here about what I think of BOD. So BOD means print on demand. So I've got a few personal experiences with print on demand. Anything that you create, you're going to have to advertise. You're going to have to market. People don't just find you. You know, there's so much out there. People don't just find you. So with print on demand, if people don't know what that is, so I like, you know, say if Carlin was going great, selling print on demand or Amazon. Yep. So if I was to find a t-shirt that they were advertising and I said, this is really cool, I would order it from them. And then they get a notification, their print on demand company gets a notification that gets printed once it's been paid for, and then it gets sent out to the customer. So there's a few different things with print on demand. It's very good cash flow wise because you don't have to outlay a lot of money to get it started. And it's a bit of a testing situation as well. You know, what products are going to do really, really well, and you don't have to make the products first. So that's fantastic. That's a really, really good thing about print on demand. Print on demand also, as with everything, get a sample of where of the product that you're going to make, so that you can see the quality of, I mean, just say it's a t-shirt, so that you can see the quality of the t-shirt and you can see the quality of the printing on the t-shirt. You can see how the t-shirt arrives to you. Do they package it well, and how long the process is. And then you've got to either advertise it or you do your social media, organic social media, very, very well. Because you need to stand out amongst all the other print on demand people, and you need to direct people to Etsy or Amazon, to wherever you're selling them. And that means that you're doing your social media. So if you're doing any paid social media for that, you've really got to have a look at the pricing of the print on demand and see if the margins are good enough for you to spend quality time on creating your social media in order to push people to that product. I hope this is all making sense. So with the print on demand, you get a lot smaller profit margin than you do when you are creating your own product, but there's a lot less gamble. There's a lot less gamble because you haven't actually made the product first. So I think it's a really good thing to start with, just to almost test the market, and then see which products work very, very well for you. And if you are using it to have an income source, then starting to create the products yourself. Okay, so especially with the high shipping and storage costs these days, yes, totally agree with you. So with the print on demand, like I said before, with your sample, see how long it takes to get the product, because with print on demand, it doesn't get sent directly straight away from a storage facility or from you. It doesn't get sent that day. It needs to be printed and then sent. So when I was doing print on demand, sometimes it took 6 weeks for my customers to get the products, same as drop shipping. And that was before there was any shipping issues. So the high shipping will probably be put into your price of what you have to pay with a print on demand as well, because they need to cover their shipping costs as well. So it's really, really looking at your numbers very, very closely and seeing if the print on demand is even going to give you a viable return on your investment. taking into consideration the time that it takes for you to create the advertising and perhaps pay for the advertising to people to get to see it. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. That's another whole entire course put into about 3 minutes. Okay, so but yes, I think it's a very viable option for when we're first starting out, but not necessarily a huge financial, you know, it's not going to give you as much profit margin than if you create your own products. But creating your own products, you need a fair bit of cash to start with. So it's do you remember the first slide that we did? It's looking at your lifestyle, looking at your finances, looking at how much time you've got, looking at how much time that you want to put into the business, and seeing really, and being very, very honest with yourself. You know, I just about signed up to something else this morning and I had to stop myself halfway through saying, no, you're doing enough already. I was going to be a guinea pig for somebody's offer for myself to be a guinea pig for somebody else's program, which would mean that I would have to do the program in order to give them a review and tell them where they can fix or change or how great their program was. But I said to myself, no, you just don't have time to do that at the moment. You're going to stretch yourself so thin. So it's taking into consideration all of the bits and pieces that are not just in business but in your life, and seeing how much you can put into it. Alrighty. Phew. I'm really hoping that even the people on the recording, that was useful for them. I saw some people that were signed into it that I know are established Amazon sellers. I was curious about why they wanted to come on. They're not here, but I'm sure they'll catch the recording. And yeah, hopefully I've done it justice. Hopefully. All right, so thank you. It was really nice for you all to be here, and I really do wish you as much fun, profit and enjoyment into your business as you possibly can. Thanks for the feedback. Lovely to see you all here. Thanks again. I'm going to end this now. Best of luck for today. See you.